Lord, Lord, we've been trying for 5 years, and Lisa's still not pregnant. I don't want to wait anymore. Lord, I just want to be the type of father that I had growing up. Well, I know I didn't know my father, but it's like I did. I mean, my mother will always tell me stories of my father. The fondest memories I have are from the stories she told me. She told me my father was a hero. He died in the war. She talked about how he used to carry men on his shoulders to safety. My father, the hero. There's even a memorial in his honor. My father has a Purple Heart. Yeah, my father, the hero. I just want to be like him. You know, my mother will always tell me to go to bed. She would only have to tell me one time. I know most children, you have to make them go to bed, but not me. It was in those moments where I would go to sleep, I would dream of my father. Yeah, I would see my father coming to me, asking me, son, do you want to go to the park? Do you want to throw the football? And after that, son, we'll get you some ice cream. Oh, he really had my attention then. I remember sitting on the steps waiting for my father to come home. I would look down the street and I would see this Cadillac just pulling down. My father would be leaning out of the Cadillac and he would pull up to the curb, step out of the car, and I would see his pants leg flapping in the wind. My father would stand up so straight. It was like he blocked the sun. My father's shoulders were so wide, it's like he would carry the world. My father's arms were bulging. It was like his muscles were cut out of mountains. And his chest, as he stood so still and strong, I could swear that my father had an S on his chest. At that moment, I knew my father was Superman. My daddy would look at me and tell me how much he loved me. And he would hold me in his arms. He would pick me up and throw me into the sky. At that moment, I was so high that I would be able to grab the moon and make it my pillow. And I would fall down and my father would catch me in his arms and he would reassure me that everything was okay and that he loved me. My father would allow me to get into the back of his car. We would pull off from the curb. Man, it was like a rocket took off. We went to the park and my father would take out the football. And he would say, son, go long. I could still hear my father's voice say, hut, hut, hut. He would drop back, throw that long ball. Man, I would run so far and so fast that I wasn't paying attention. I would fall to the ground. I dropped the ball. I would be so worried that my father would be angry with me. Because every father, I imagine, wants their son to go to the NFL. But my father would just look at me. He would run right to where I was and help me up to my feet. I would dust myself off and look into my father's eyes. And he would tell me how much he loved me and how much he was proud of me and how I could do it if I really tried. So I gave it one more shot that day. My father said, hut, hut, hut. Drop back. He threw that ball. I ran with all my might. I looked up, reached out, and caught the ball. I fell to the ground and I could hear the people cheering and calling my name. But I didn't pay attention to that. I only heard and cared about the voice of my father who said he was so proud of me. I love you, son. That's all I heard. I walked over to him, he put his arm around me, we got in the car, and we were off to get ice cream. Chocolate ice cream with vanilla swirls. 1 bowl and 2 spoons. My father and I, we shared ice cream. As soon as I got it to my mouth, the alarm clock went off. It was time for school again. I rushed through the day just so I could get home and do all my homework, just so I can go to sleep and see my father again. Why did my father have to leave me? memories of my father. So God, I ask you, please, allow me to be the father that I desperately want. Lord, if you do it, I love you. Lord, if you don't do it, I still love you. Lord, thanks for listening.